Hi. This is our first podcast for Scale Our Society. I'm here with Andre Chavez. For anyone that doesn't know you, could you give a little bit about your background and just tell us who you are?
Sure, yeah. So as I already told you, my name is Andre. I grew up in Houston, Texas. I am first generation. My grandparents immigrated here, but my parents were born here, but they couldn't afford college, so they didn't end up going to college. So I'm the first in my immediate family to go to college. Um, I'm here at Yale now, so,
Mm-hmm.
so
Uh
that's good, I guess. And
huh.
and yeah, I mean, is there anything else you want to know about me?
um, I know maybe you could talk a little bit about. I know we don't want to brag too much here, but Andre actually got into more than one of the Ivy League schools. If you want to expand on that.
Oh, sure. So during my senior year, I applied to three Ivy League schools, and I applied to Harvard, Yale, and Columbia, and I was fortunately able to get into all three of them.
It's amazing.
It was a lot of work, but we got there. So
Okay.
yeah.
That kind of bridges onto my second question. So my second question is everyone assumes top students are gifted, they have the brains. What is one like habit or something unglamorous, something very, very that you had to do through discipline, through consistency that actually got you to this position that you are in today?
I know it sounds super cliche, but never giving up. I mean, I think that's the best like piece of advice that anybody's ever given me or that I've ever heard of, because like I will say this: persistency beats talent
Mm-hmm.
always. Like you can be the most talented person in any subject or in anything, but if you don't have that drive, then I mean, it's all just gonna fall apart. Really, because I mean, being able to stay on top of your things, and even if you get a bad grade here or there, or
Mm-hmm.
even if you don't get the grade that you want, or if you make mistakes, like just learn from your mistakes and just keep on going and
Okay.
like try not to make those mistakes again. So that's the biggest advice that I can give.
My question kind of bridges onto it. Within your 4 years of high school, what do you think the most challenging year was for you?
I think my most challenging year was definitely junior year.
Junior
Um, I think just because of the workload that I took and because of what I knew that I wanted to achieve and the goals that I had set for myself, I think that's definitely what made my junior year the most challenging. Of course, it's not challenging for everybody because some people choose easier workloads or
year?
some people choose to have less rigor or things like that. But like I knew where I kind of wanted to go, and I knew what I had to do. So I took
Mm-hmm.
like five AP courses my junior year, and I scored fives on all of them. And yeah, and I worked really hard. I made sure like every single day that I wrote down like a to do list of what I needed to do and what needed to get done. And even if I had to stay up like a little bit later because my sleep schedule was really bad, but I made sure to get it done and made sure to come prepared to class next time and ready to answer questions and ready to be engaged.
Okay, that sounds like a very disciplined and consistent schedule throughout your years of high school. I know you mentioned earlier that you're doing economics at Yale. Was there a particular moment or experience in your life, high school, middle school, elementary school days that particularly drew you towards economics?
Yeah. So here at Yale, I'm doing kind of a hybrid. So I'm kind of in between economics and EP&E, which is ethics, politics, and economics.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really between these two because I just really love like kind of the being versatile and kind of interdisciplinary perspectives of what those kind of subjects have to offer. And so like really like I think finance was a big thing for me as well. Like I know I personally had a crude oil trading internship when I was in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and I was able to win that through like it was a competitive program, but I was selected out of a few kids, and so I was very grateful for that. And I think just doing that program really like opened my eyes to like what the finance world was about
Mm-hmm.
and what it came with and all the cool aspects about it, and learning how things intertwine with each other and influence each other was really an awesome thing to do. And like the other things, politics and economics, I've always been a big debater. I've always like loved like arguing and
Mm-hmm.
you know like about things and really getting philosophical. And so just those things like really kind of lighten like they like sparked a bulb in my head of
Mm-hmm.
like what I wanted to do. So like I think if I end up doing EP&E, it gives me a good avenue to kind of like either go into finance, go into pre-law, or like maybe you're like running for political office. So
Okay. So you kind of answered my second or the next question that I had. A question that I had is, what are you most excited or looking forward to studying at Yale? I mean, you kind of answered it, but out of those things, you can pick one thing, the thing that you're most excited on. If you could bridge into that.
yeah, for sure. I mean, let's see, man. I know Yale is huge, like on politics. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you've had multiple presidents come out of Yale. I mean, for example, both the Bushes. You had Bill Clinton as well. I mean, like I think really like being able to dive deep into the humanities and really get a good feel of like both sides of the political spectrum and
Mm-hmm.
being able to understand where both sides come from is very important, not just academically, but just as a human being, because it gives you insight into what other people may be thinking and why they may think that, and it broadens your view on the world.
Okay. Um. So my next question I have for you is, what is the most common financial mistake that you think kids are making right now?
I think probably the most I think kids really need to focus on the future. I think they're thinking a little bit too short term
Mm-hmm.
and not long term.
Okay.
So I feel like uh, our society has kind of like gone down the path of prioritizing the now versus the future and
Mm-hmm.
like in really investing in our future. So I think the biggest financial mistake that a kid can make is not investing enough in their education, if I'm being completely honest,
Okay.
because I think that's very important. And I think getting a proper education and like being able to educate yourself on certain topics and being well like versed in those type of things is very
Mm-hmm.
important. I mean, whatever it may be, it gives you like helps broaden your horizon and just things like that. So I think we need to really be investing in our time and our education.
Okay. And I know, like, especially in the time that we live in, the 21st century, there's a lot of artificial intelligence, especially within finance, policy, every career, basically, there's artificial intelligence is impacting us in some sort of way. So, my question to you is, how do you think artificial intelligence will affect jobs for people our age?
So I really believe that there will be kind of a point where artificial intelligence will become smarter than us in a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things, but that doesn't take away from the fact that like new jobs will be created, if that makes sense. Because like even like if you look at previous revolutions like the industrial revolution and things
Mm-hmm.
like that, you can see like how many people kind of adapted. And although some jobs were taken away, yes, of course, there was a lot more jobs added. So I think really that integration between AI and human like will help us excel, not just like technologically, but also like kind of as like as jobs go,
Mm-hmm.
like being
Yeah.
able to do things a lot quicker and a lot faster. And I think you still need human intuition to do those things. So I think a
Okay.
good integration between AI and human is vital.
Another question that I have, I know you kind of said that the best thing to invest in is education, but this kind of branches off a little bit. What is one? I don't know if how familiar you are into like financial literacy, stocks and things like that, but what is one financial habit that you would highly encourage for high school students or for college students, for them to have and would benefit them for the future?
Funny enough that you bring that up because I actually have invested a lot of my personal money in like stocks like QQQ and then
Mm-hmm.
also cryptocurrency,
Okay.
uh, which of course I'm not promoting anything, but I have invested like in Bitcoin and Ethereum because I see possible futures with those cryptos and
Okay.
they're like pretty low from their historic high.
Uh
So
huh.
I see that. So, but one piece of advice that I would give, like to someone who's like investing, is DCAing or is dollar cost averaging,
Uh
which
huh.
is like putting a little bit of money each time because like a lot of people try to kind of call the low or call the dip,
Mm-hmm.
and in reality, it may just I mean, you may call it right, but also it may keep on going lower. So I think by putting a little bit of money like each week or maybe each every 2 weeks, like
Mm-hmm.
you kind of mitigate that cost and like
Okay.
that opportunity cost.
Okay. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I do some investing as well. You know, I look at the like right now I'm looking at Micron, Nvidia, all those big stocks. Looking forward to like the Anthropic IPO. I haven't put my foot into cryptocurrencies yet, but I do enjoy that. So it's kind of cool to see the advice that you have. For a student that is interested in things that you're interested in, policy, economics, business, what is something that you recommend for them to do in their youth?
I think one thing that I definitely would recommend is to start like looking at both sides. Don't Because I feel like most people like when they think of a spectrum or think of political affiliations, they kind of want to be one sided
Mm-hmm.
and radical on that one side, and it's not good to like kind of like put yourself in a corner. I think it's good to be very versatile, and so I believe like the best thing that one can do in their youth is kind of get a good view on both sides and kind of like dig deep into like why that person thinks like that and like really asking the questions of why
Mm-hmm.
and like like what that means for the future of society and like how things are shifting and how things are moving in like the political realm. I mean, not just here in the United States, but like worldwide as well. So I think that's something to dive deep into.
Okay. And now that answers most of the bulk of the interview. I just want to ask you some, a little bit more personal questions. So, one of my questions I have to you is, where do you want to be in 10 years from now?
I think in 10 years from now, I would like to hopefully have um, retired uh, from my job and from now like probably hopefully going to travel the world and see all the amazing things that the world has to offer and meeting new people and creating new experiences and memories and hopefully getting back to Texas and that
Uh-huh. Yep.
soon after that and like settling down and buying like a 10-acre lot and a
Uh-huh.
big
Okay.
house and having a good life with my kids and yeah, just enjoying
Okay.
life.
Um, so I know you just did you just fly into Yale, or how did that work? Are you spending the summer there, or?
Yeah. I'm doing a small little program for first generation students here at
Oh,
Yale, which
okay.
is kind of it helps them get kind of used to the rigor and
Mm-hmm.
what to expect when the academic year rolls around. So it's a 5 week program, and it started a week ago. So I'm still here. So yeah, it's fun. It's awesome. It really gives you a good insight into what the professors expect, and it's very rigorous,
Mm-hmm.
very demanding. A lot of reading, a lot of math, but it's worth it because it gets you ready. So
Okay, so branching off of that, I know you spent only a week at Yale, but what do you think is like the biggest myth about getting into a school at Yale, like Yale?
I think the biggest myth about getting into a school like Yale or Harvard or any Ivy League for that matter, or any competitive top 20 school for that matter, is that like people believe that the kids that go here are like unnaturally smart and that they um, like paid their way in or they had like a hard like unusual circumstance or like not like it's very difficult to get in and I don't believe that's true at all. I think anybody can get in really if they really set their mind to it and
Mm-hmm.
like if you really want it you can actually have it and I think really like prioritizing like a lot of things on your application which I can dive deep into sure if you want to ask me about that
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think there's a secret like there isn't a secret recipe to getting in. I
Okay.
think there's a multitude of things, yes, but there's no secret. Like there's like it's a human being reading your application. So I
Mm-hmm.
think you just have to like really kind of strive towards making your application good and making it seem humane.
Okay. I want to branch into because I know you mentioned you got five on all of the AP tests that you took, which is incredible, by the way. But I know a lot, especially in our age, a lot of people struggle with laziness, procrastination, And I was just kind of wondering how you overcame that because you must have had something in or a system or something in order to get those scores that you achieved. So I was just wondering, what did you do to achieve those scores? What was your little schedule, a little order that you had to get those scores that you on your AP tests?
So I'm not gonna lie, I did have a really bad sleep schedule. Like I would probably sleep at 2 in the morning and then wake up at 6 and then go to school and then come home and eat and take a nap and wake up like at 8 and then start my homework. But I think besides that, I really think like planning out your day and like really like trying to hit the focus areas and like for especially for AP exams. I mean, I really believe that once you study how the test is formatted, like you can honestly get a 5 on any test that you want. Like really being able to like see what the college board wants and what they prioritize on the CED
Mm-hmm.
and like see what they weigh the most on and like really looking at that and kind of like prioritizing your study schedule based on that is really essential to like getting high scores on those and like asking questions and just like being good with your teachers and your professors and like really like immerse like being like having immersion,
Uh-huh.
like
Yeah, yeah,
immersion
yeah, yeah.
things. So I think that's really important.
Okay. Well, that's it for the question list that I have. I'm very glad that you chose to have this interview with us today. And first of all, thank you for your time. Thank you for your knowledge. And we're excited to see what you do at Yale. And we're thank you for having, or we're thankful to have you on our podcast.
Yes, thank you for so much for having me, Michael. I really appreciate it.